Rise, Meg.
The Force will be with you.
Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. In today's video we're going to be talking about Mena Massoud, who has very strongly teased that he's going to be playing Ezra in the Mandoverse. We're also going to be talking about The Mandalorian and more. As always my dear friends, before I dive into the news, please may I ask you to hit like down below, subscribe to the channel if you're brand new and a huge welcome if you are, and also be sure to hit the notification bell to be alerted each and every time that I post new content to the channel. So without much further ado and without any more jibber jabber, let's just dive straight into it. So as you guys are probably aware, a few weeks ago Mena Massoud was rumoured to be playing Ezra in Ahsoka and in the Mandalorian universe on the whole. Well, the actor may have just confirmed that he is going to play Ezra, because in a cryptic message on Instagram, he posted a picture of himself shirtless with an unambiguous quote, which is a line from Ezra Bridger uttered in Season 2 of Rebels. The quote is, "Hey, just so you know, when I escape, I won't hurt any of you." And this is a line that Ezra says to a group of stormtroopers after he's been captured by the Empire. It would seem to me that this message is very clear that he is going to play Ezra in Ahsoka and he's getting in shape for it. This is such welcome news because we've had nothing. It's been a very dry period of time for Star Wars news, but this just makes me so excited for Ahsoka and the future of the Mandalorian universe. Nothing else is known at this point, even when production is going to start for Ahsoka, but this is something really huge and it's our first look at the actor who's going to play Ezra. For those of you who don't know, Mena Massoud played Aladdin in the live action version, and I'm sure he's going to do a phenomenal role as playing the live action version of the Star Wars Rebels hero Ezra. So now my dear friends, let's move on to our next article. We're going to be talking about the Rise of Skywalker and how it was very much rushed up until the last second. Concept artist reveals rushed addition to Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Concept artist James Cline revealed a part of the film was not added until very late in production. When JJ Abrams signed on to write and direct episode 9, he didn't have much time to wrap up the sequel trilogy, especially after Colin Trevorrow had departed from the project. It's also very well known that a lot changed throughout the production, such as Rey's lineage and other details that mattered. Cline recently revealed on Instagram that the montage that we see at the end of The Rise of Skywalker, which features several planets from the original trilogy, was one of those late additions. So we have the sunset over Bespin, but it's really the caption on the Instagram post that is truly telling of the whole approach to episode 9. He says that he only had one day to work this out because it was late in the production and we were all under the gun. I mean, you have to admit that's a very dramatic and kind of disappointing statement. I don't necessarily blame JJ Abrams or people who were directly in production for this film. I blame the higher-ups who decided to fire Colin Trevorrow at the very last minute, so JJ Abrams had to come up with what he did in a very short period of time. And while it's not my favourite Star Wars film by any stretch of the imagination, kudos to him for coming up with what he did. Same with James Cline, the concept artist. I can only imagine the level of stress and pressure they were under to deliver something within one day. I think a lot of Star Wars fans have said this before, but I'm going to chime in with the same opinion, that since they knew they were under so much time pressure, they should have left the release for another year or another few months. Having said that, the gap would have been even greater because no one could have anticipated the pandemic and the extent to which it affected everyone. I'll leave it at that guys, but let me know your thoughts of this in the comments down below. So now we're going to talk about something really interesting. This is an article which is titled The Mandalorian Connection You Never Knew About Darth Revan. It's a fascinating connection and I want to share it with you guys now. The Star Wars universe is massive, both in terms of its fictional size and the amount of media that it spans. From feature films to comic books, the chronology of a galaxy far, far away has no limits and is daunting for it. To make the best sense of this endless stream of spacefaring adventures, the mythology is broken down into a handful of different sections. One of these, which is very prominent, is the Old Republic. Thousands of years before the Clone Wars, the Sith and the Jedi vied for power across the galaxy, leaving destruction in their wake. In the midst of this warfare, a conflict known as the Mandalorian Wars came to be, pitting the Galactic Republic against the culture of armored warriors. Iconic names emerged on both sides, perhaps none more well remembered than Darth Revan. Introduced for 2003's Knights of the Old Republic, or KOTOR as we know it, Revan has truly done it all in the Star Wars galaxy. The Force user has embraced both the light and the dark sides, putting his strengths to good use on the battlefield no matter where he aligned. But aside from being a veteran of these wars, Darth Revan has a much deeper connection to Mandalorian culture than you ever noticed. Revan's defining feature is his legendary mask, and the little known story behind it is actually quite interesting. As revealed in Knights of the Old Republic 42, the helmet once belonged to a Mandalorian woman who served under Cassius Fett during the Battle of Cathar. He fully intended to murder the entirety of Cathar's population, and she disagreed with him, intervening on their behalf. Ruthless as ever and unwilling to negotiate, Fett killed her along with them. A decade later, Revan discovers the relic during a trip to Cathar with his Jedi allies. They all share in a vision of Fett's violence, and it shakes them to the core. But Revan really took the scene to heart. He elected to wear the helmet in the Mandalorian woman's honor, promising not to remove it until her people pay for their transgressions. However, long after the Mandalorian Wars concluded, Revan kept the mask on, even after he fell to the dark side and became Darth Revan. At that point, it had become a symbol of his power and a tool to strike fear into the hearts of all who heard his name. Following his capture at the hands of the Jedi, Revan lost his memories and is implanted with false ones. Jedi Bastia Shan also takes the Mandalorian mask from him, fearing that if he kept it, his old memories would return and he'd terrorize the cosmos yet again. That theory was indeed proven to be correct when Mitra Surik returned it to him, with it later falling into the custody of various Sith until Revan was killed on Yavin 4. Revan's reasons for taking the Mandalorian helm was noble, but it became corrupted by his greed and lust for power. Nevertheless, the mask will be synonymous with him forevermore, despite its origins. This is something that I have come across in the past, but I really wanted to share it with you guys because I know not all of you are very familiar with this backstory. There's so much deep and rich Mandalorian creed and tradition, and I'm considering doing an entire series going into it. But let me know your thoughts of all of this in the comments down below. That is all of the news I have for you guys today. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the bell, and please also, if you're feeling generous, consider contributing to the channel by becoming a patron. For just $2 or $10 a month, you can get exclusive access to content that's not found here on YouTube. And that really does include a variety of content, my Forgotten Characters series, my podcast which is called Megasodes, and much more as well. I'm Star Wars Meg, and I'm wishing you all a phenomenal rest of the day, no matter where you dwell in the galaxy. Have a good one.